Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video, and you are possibly looking at the new best EZA TUR in the game, in EZA Fizz, Trunks, and Goten. Only recently pulled them, so no dupes in them whatsoever, and also recently Dokkan awakened them, so I've only got them up to 3, 4, 5, and 2 at their link levels. So this is pretty much as bare bones as it's going to get with these guys. Very intrigued to see how they do, not only at 55%, but also just because they look so good. They have so much going for them. We are starting off turn 1, 419k attack stat, 142k defense. We do already have a Kid Trunks or Kid Goten unit in the same turn, which means we will get the unit super attack. Not only that, can have a Krillin on the team to activate that as well, but there's no good Krillin unit, so you're pretty much relying on another one of these running dual of them, which I don't see you doing, or their EZAs of Tech Trunks and Int Goten. So let's pick up some orbs and see what they're putting out. Again, unit super attack, which means we do get 50% attack and defense for the turn, cause immense damage to the enemy. But then more importantly, which differs from their normal regular super attack, 11.6 mil is a good starting point, especially at 55% no build up. But the main difference being all allies get attack and defense plus 30% for 2 turns. That's 2 bits of build up in their passive, only need to be hit or dodge 3 more times, and we've built up all their dodge chance and also extra attack and defense, which also I'm a big fan of the way that builds up. Also, it gives you another reason to actually use the EZA Tech Trunks and also EZA Int Goten, because they have a ton of damage reduction as long as they're next to a Goten and Trunks unit for each of them, and that gives you more reason to use them as well to not only help the EZA Fizz, Trunks, and Goten, but the 2 individual units as well. So I'm a big fan of bringing them back. They do start the turn with key plus 3 attack and defense plus 100%. And they do gain an additional 150% attack and defense on super. And then this is something you're not going to notice until you get used to using them, but also they're fully built up and you super attack and the number looks a little bit lower, looks a bit higher, and kind of having that midpoint. And that's having those 2 70% chances of an additional 100% attack and defense. So right there, because I don't know what numbers they put out, and also they're not built up, I don't know whether they're one of those 70% additionals popped, or if both of them popped, or none of them popped. But considering they're both a 70% chance of an additional 100% attack and defense, you would have to get very unlucky for both of them not to happen, because there's such a high chance to get it. I think majority of the time you will at least get one of them. I said you'll probably have to get really, really unlucky, like it ain't your day to not get either of them. And then most of the time you probably walk away with one, if not both. Then they have every hidden potential system buff built into their passive. 50% chance of an additional super, 50% crit chance, and then 30% chance of dodge, which isn't a lot, but considering how much they build up, it doesn't matter. And then we did get hit / dodge twice. So we do already have 2 of that built up, so we only have to do that 3 more times, which they do gain an additional 20% attack and defense up to 100%, and dodge chance by 10% up to 50% with each tap received or evaded, so only 5 times. So even though they do have build up in their passive, you could almost, if you're lucky, build it up in 1 turn if there's enough attacks. I mean, typically they're not going to be in slot 1, they'll be in slot 2. But I'm going to take a risk by part. Actually, I can actually use their active skill, which funny enough has really good conditions. As long as you have a Kid Trunks, Kid Goten unit attacking in the same turn, you can have it ready by as early as turn 3. So doing what I am doing right now, if you get quite unlucky and there aren't too many attacks and you don't get to build it up in 1 turn, you could pop that early and just guarantee yourself the full build up with no risk. Or just slide them in slot 1. Because you do get it active so early by turn 3, you can actually just have it ready and hold on to it until you really need it. But I'm going to use it now just because we can. They only get key plus 6, but they do get guaranteed dodge, which is very nice.
You're gonna regret ever looking down on us. Goten, show them what we're made of.
They'll be so surprised.
Again, you don't have to use it as early as I did. I did it purely for the video so we could get them built up ASAP without ruining our rotation. But we do get key +6. And at the moment, now that we're going to have, unless they are fully built up, 817k attack, 265k defense. Oh no, they're not built up. I'm pretty sure they've only been, what did we say? 2-3 times? I've forgotten already. But no matter what, because we have guaranteed dodge right now, which is always very handy, we are going to get the rest of their passive fully done. Are we going to get it fully done before they actually get to attack? I think we are. We're not. 20.5 mil though. This is at 55%. This is at 55%. Come on, get an additional. No additional. I mean, I'm not surprised, but still. But having an active you can use as early as turn 3, considering if you want the unit super attack, and again, that Goten and Trunks EZA is very good, so bringing them is never really an issue because they just get so much damage reduction as long as they're with another Goten or Trunks unit. Having that ready by turn 3 to just use when you want or as early as you want, another massive bonus. But the fact that you get to have guaranteed dodge, and when you consider how hard some of these enemies hit nowadays, definitely not going to turn your nose up at that. You know, there might be some enemies that, you know, do cancel dodge. But then if you run them on the Kamehameha category, which unfortunately I can't do the 200%, but if you do have Carnival Strength Gohan, Tech UI goes on that team, pop his domain, guaranteed dodge. You can now dodge again. Means our active skills back to being useful. But still, the conditions, I mean, I know they're not changed through EZAs, but from turn 3, very useful because again, you just have that in your back pocket ready to use when you need it. Or if you just want to build out their passive as much as possible and you've got unlucky with attack placement, you could just use it early and just get yourself guaranteed build up with no risk. That's always something you could do. But then just having guaranteed dodge is just good in itself. And then to round out their passive, additional chance of performing 30% crit chance and then 30% damage reduction when all allies attacking in the same turn are Kamehameha category characters, which again I've already gone through. If you do have the Carnival Strength LR Gohan, he flat leads it. That is literally going to be your team. Also, he's one of the best units in the game. There's your Kamehameha category unit sorted. Even if we take a look at the Kamehameha category units, there's some very good ones in there. You have the Part 1 SSJ trio, who are also another one of the best units in the game, but they support so many units in the game. They've brought back a lot of units as well, so they can also help you out. Tech UI, the original in SSJ trio. SSJ 4 Full Power Goku's kind of back again because of the new SSJ trio. There's also EZA, AGL UI, EZA Blue Boys, AGL SSJ 3 Goku, Strength SSJ 3 Goku, and then also there's another unit that could actually benefit from the Fizz SSJ trio support as well. Unfortunately, I don't have either of those two worldwide units, but if you do, that is a benefit that Goten and Trunks can actually have, which I'm completely here for. Completely here for. So another unit that benefits from that. But they honestly just have so much going for them. Not to mention it's so easy to have a Kamehameha category unit next to them, because if you want the unit super attack effect, you just, as I said, bring one of those EZA, Goten, and Trunks units, and there you go. If you bring both of them and you don't want to run one of them on rotation, which, I mean, there's no slot 1 unit there, you'll just constantly have them floated. You might miss out on unit super attack once every couple of turns, but that's fine, because the majority of the time you're getting it. But the main difference is the support. So if you want it that badly, they will always be on the team anyway, so majority of the time you will be getting that damage reduction, you will be getting that unit super attack effect. But there's so many good Kamehameha units. Again, especially if you do have the new worldwide units on top of that. But let's play out one of their final turns and see what they're doing. And also see how lucky we get with that double 70% chance of 100% attack and defense. Gonna need you to dodge though. 80%, so it's more than likely they're gonna do it. Don't make me look stupid. There we go. What are we putting out? 21.7. Get an additional. You got 50% chance of an additional just built in. Get it. Get the additional. We didn't get that. Somehow we didn't crit. We have 80% crit chance as well. And somehow we didn't get it. I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. But honestly, I generally believe the hype that I've heard already, which is these two are the new best EZA TUR in the game. I think I'm going to have to believe it. Even at 55%, EZA Trunks and Goten are looking incredibly strong. And honestly, it's probably because they have so much going for them. I mean, from what I'm seeing now, they're putting out a 20 million attack stat, which is very good. They have built an additional, so they're going to do that again. And not only that, it's going to be stronger because of the 50% attack and defense they get on SA effect. If you have dupes or get lucky with skill orbs, because if you're like me and only have 55%, you only have 5 additional to rely on. So skill orbs are going to be your best friend. That's another additional where they're doing 20 plus million attack stats 3 times, each which have, once they're fully built up in their passive, 80% chance to crit, as long as they're next to a Kamehameha category unit, which, as I said, if you have the new Carnival Strength Gohan, you're on a flat 200% lead, you're surrounded by them. But then if you're bringing EZA, Goten and Trunks, the separate EZAs, they're going to be constantly floating around on the team along with other Kamehameha category units. It's going to be happening the majority of the time. So that means they're doing a ton of raw damage to enemy health bars. But then also on top of that, they get an extra 50% defense along with that attack as well. So they're bolstering out their defense 2, maybe 3 times. On top of the sheer amount of attack and defense they're getting anyway, with the 100% they start with, the 150 they get on super, the 270% chances of 100% attack and defense anyway, then you have the 100% attack and defense from the build up in their passive. They have a lot of sheer stats, which is why building up their passive through either being hit or being dodged, or being hit or dodging, is really easy, because not only is it only 5 times, but also because once they super attack, because you're not going to put them in slot 1 like I did for the sake of the video to use their active to do it quickly. Once they super attack, I said they have so much defense in sheer numbers. It might not be too much, but it's enough early doors to build up their passive, where they could probably tank the majority of normals in the game for double digits, or essentially to be fine and not worry about them. It also helps build up their passive so quickly, because they could either dodge it with the 30%, which is low, so it's not incredibly likely, but they can do it, which is nice. But once they super attack, they'll tank, as I said, majority of normals in the game, especially in early phases, which that will be. They'll tank him for double digits, or hardly anything. So you can build up their passive so quickly, and get the extra 100% attack and defense, but more importantly, that extra 50% chance to dodge, which on top of the 30 they already have, almost gives them guaranteed dodge. So they have 80% chance to dodge once they're built up. So that's 50% chance of an additional, 50% chance to crit, and then 80% dodge chance. So most of the time, you're going to see them dodging some of the strongest enemies in the game, 2.5+ million super attacks, and you're not going to get hit by any of it. Now, you can get very unlucky because it is a chance for it to happen, and you could still get hit by it. But still, majority of the time, they're going to be dodging. And then not only that, as long as you're next to a Kamehameha unit, again, you almost have guaranteed dodge with the extra 30% crit chance to go with the 50 you already have. But then to go with the sheer amount of attack and defense they have, and also the fact that they have 8% dodge chance, if they don't dodge, after they super attack and get all the extra attack and defense, they then got 30% damage reduction to go with it, just in case they don't dodge. So as I said, they have a whole lot going for them. And just to top it off, their unit super attack where they can have some support for not only 1 turn, but 2 turns. So that's support from unit super attack effect, a sheer amount of attack and defense. It's very quick and easy to build up their passive. So they have 80% dodge chance, built-in 50% chance to crit, built-in 50% chance of additional super, 80% chance to crit as long as there's a Kamehameha category unit, which is very easy to do again, especially if you have the new units. And then they can also benefit from the new Phys SSJ trio support. And then 30% damage reduction. As I said, 100% the new best EZA TUR in the game, just because they have so much going for them. But that's my thoughts and opinions. You can let me know yours down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, have a good rest of your day, and peace.